Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today I'm going to be going over the new Gems of War Mythic of the Fenix. So, this will be available in the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests for this week only, and then it'll be in the drop table with everything else. As far as what it does, it chooses one of two things. It is the first choice Mythic, and it is a decent one. Ends up dealing a bunch of true damage to all enemies, or summons 1 to 3 Volfire Hunters. Volfire Hunters, oddly enough, a troop that for most people doesn't currently exist within the game. Oddly enough, it is the reward for getting the final reward on the Kingdom Pass right now. So a lot of people are just doing it with the normal progression, even if you have the paid side. Don't actually have this until about another week or two from now, so we have to get kind of early access to it. It has 65% score reduction, has a true damage poke, has a choice option as well, and has decent synergy given that they're both true damage. It's a pretty average amount of true damage, but still pretty good. It's pretty comparable to that of Draculus, but it doesn't get to heal itself. It just gets to simply do damage. So it's a little bit worse than Draculus, but the main benefit that actually makes it better than Draculus in most situations is its final perk. And the reason I'm actually going to be going for 2 of them right now, it blesses and enchants a random ally when I match for an extra turn. So this is very similar to another effect that we already had, a barrier bless. And that alone, it was on a troop that could only cast once. And even after it casted once, the barrier bless had so much value that it was still worth using. This is actually a more offensive version of it. As Bless will keep you protected from a lot of annoying things like mana drain, while Enchant will give you more mana over time. So it's basically a more offensive version while still keeping you relatively protected. Of course, you don't have the bulkiness, but you can solve that with a tanky first slot or something similar. But anyways, we're going to go over a couple teams, all of which will be in the description. Go and try to get a couple copies of this from the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest and go from there. And of course, we got a Vault weekend this weekend. I'm going to be grinding that quite a bit. But let's go and start with the Mythic. So, let's go, and we have exactly 100,000 glory keys. That's funny. I said earlier, because I dipped slightly under 99,000 to try to get the new troops. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. The 3 new troops are available, by the way, not Millet-Man. He's in gold keys. But if you haven't gotten these already, Eleanor, Mysterious Hero, and the other one, the Guardian Dragon, are all in the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest drop table. So if you haven't gotten those 3 yet, they were added in version 6.8 on Monday, not on last Tuesday, but specifically on Monday, a little bit after the patch. So if you haven't gotten these 3 yet, not the Millet-Man, I can't put the other one in there because we don't have it yet. Hopefully we'll get it right now. But anyways, you can get those. So if you haven't gotten them earlier, you can. Because that's why we dipped on glory keys. We're trying to get it earlier. We got like 4 or 5 mythics from it, but nope, didn't actually get the troops. Let's see if we get it. Which will we get first? Place your bets now. Will we get the legendary or the mythic first? It is actually harder to get the legendary first, oddly enough. And there we go, we got the mythic first. But I do want a second one. So, will we find the legend before we get 2 phoenixes? The sad part is we might actually get double mythic before we find the first legends. Which means I'll still need to go find that later. Worst comes to worst, we could wait for a Sword's Edge event key event, or, you know, a weekly event. Yep, we got double phoenix before the legend. Gosh, they really need to make it easier to get a specific legend. Well, I guess we shall remain without the legend for a little while, as we have hit our target. And it's definitely not worth it to keep opening keys once you have 2 of it. Most mythics, you only really want 1 copy of. However, there are some niche few that are worth getting 2 of. And I would say this is in the category of potentially worth getting 2 of. There are, of course, other true damage mythics, some of which are better than this, like Scourge of Honor, actually one of them I even use on the team. However, this is definitely up there as an option that can be used. Mostly its choice mechanic, making it the main thing that might make it desirable, as it does have another way of doing its ability rather than what you would normally have. I almost want to go level it too. I'm going to hold off on getting this elite level. However, I am considering it. No, do not use the power orb. Do not use the power. Anyways, we're just going to do it really quickly with a major orange, major green. You know what? I will give him his first trait. How about that? I will give him his first. We'll contemplate later if we'll give him his second or third. But for now, that'll be 1 extra magic. And you can get 6 additional magic onto his damage output if you so choose. I'll give him a little bronze icon. That feels so weird. I always upgrade them all the way to gold whenever I do. But I'll leave it at that for now. I'll go put these into our teams and see what this thing can do. And we used a couple placeholders here. Had to use double Scorpius because I didn't even have double of any of the other colors of his options. And put the other one right there. Anyways, so let's start from the top and go mess with a couple teams. Let's just go to some location. How about some Sword's Edge? Sure, why not? Shouldn't be anything too annoying here, right? I keep saying that. There actually are a few things that are kind of annoying here. Mostly you and one other. But anyways, so the first one that we have here is a true damage Phoenix team, as is pretty much every Phoenix team, realistically. However, we're going to be doing it with Scourge of Honor. Scourge of Honor, I would say, is probably the... Oh, that's the troop, by the way, that it summons. When it says Vulpine Hunter, there we go. Did I even look at it earlier? I meant to and forgot to, but there we go. Perfect. So, you notice here that it says, or summon 1 to 3 Vulpine Hunters. Well, that is this troop. It either deals true damage to an enemy, boosted by blue gems, or it deals a bunch of splash damage to an enemy boosted by blue gems, meaning if you're using these together, you're pretty much only using it for its blue. One nice thing about this, though, is it has 65% score reduction. It also gets extra turns, a little bit of mana, which stacks even more onto the enchant. Even though the enchant is delayed after the fact, that is potentially 5 additional mana for your extra turn. 2 from the enchant and 3 for every single extra turn that you take. And that combined with the fact that he has 65% reduction is nice, as generally when you summon things, not always, but more often than not, you'll be summoning towards the front of your team because they die to skulls, as it's easier for the front to die compared to the back. Meaning 65% score reduction on your first and or second slots in front of this thing will be pretty good. This thing will normally be used in third slot. There are some exceptions to it, but it's mostly to give it room to resummon if it so chooses to do that mechanic. Very rarely are you going to be using the resummon compared to true damage. Its true damage is a little bit lower, as you can see. I believe it's slightly higher than what Dracula's has. It was also slightly lower compared to that of like Scourge of Honor. Actually, no, never mind. Is it? Because we'd have 5 more damage. No, it's actually the same damage as Scourge of Honor. The only reason why it looks different is because of Scourge of Honor fully metalled. So yeah, it's the same damage as Scourge of Honor's, well, as far as his base damage. Well, actually, yeah, he doesn't get any extra damage. So yeah, it's the same damage as Scourge of Honor. The main benefit of Scourge of Honor being that he can gain some of his mana back a little bit quicker, and he can get even quicker off the enchant and bless to keep us safe. So this is kind of the inverse, oddly enough, if you think about it. Scourge of Honor plus Fenix, they actually do the same thing, but in opposite. So this is a true damager that blesses and enchants. Bless being immune to status effects, and enchant being mana per turn. Whereas Scourge of Honor does the exact opposite of that. It curses, which is, it gets rid of any status effects and makes it so status effects last longer on them. And diseases, which is the opposite of enchant and makes it so you get half as much mana instead of 2 mana per turn. So they are quite literally the opposite of each other, but they work very well together. They also have really good mana coverage. You can even use them on a brown guild where I did not actually show any pure brown teams. However, they can be incorporated into a brown. You'd probably use Mountain Crusher, Scourge of Honor, Fenix. So you know what, maybe we'll make up one real quick at the end. Because yeah, that would work out pretty well. Mountain Crusher, Scourge of Honor, Fenix, and something. I'm not sure what your last slot would be there, but maybe Angry Mob and try to put it up a little bit, but then you don't cover... No, you'd still cover every color. Yeah, you need some kind of mana accumulator in there beyond just Mountain Crusher, ideally. But yeah, you can kind of incorporate it into a pure brown. Might be a little bit sketchy as a start because the empower options aren't too good for it. But anyways, let's go play the battle. So we're just using double mana accumulator for this. Most of these teams do want to run double mana accumulator, as do most teams in general. But we get a lot of value per every single extra turn, getting our bless, getting our enchants. Unfortunately, all of that throwing on things that already have full mana, but at least they get to keep safe with their bless until they end up casting. So we can actually determine which one of these two we want to cast first based on what has bless, in case we want to make sure the other one can get any kind of effect from it. We actually want to cast this first because as soon as we cast this thing, it'll lose its bless. So for now, we're just going to go for this true damage, hit it for its 54, and then go into Scourge of Honor, which actually does the same damage if we had it fully metalled. And then we just go from there. And then we just repeat the cycle. They constantly keep getting mana at a slower rate. We keep getting mana at a higher rate due to the enchant. And we just keep cycling that until we win. That's not full. That's enough damage to kill, though, isn't it? Yes, it is. And there we go. And it's basically just a true damage spam team. But yeah, pretty nice synergy. And probably one of the main things you would use it with. Oh, Flame Troll Pup. Do I need that? I'm not sure. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. Maybe we'll test one of the teams on those now. Next, we have a Divine Protector related team. We're actually doing this with Double Phoenix. We're using with Sagittarian. Sagittarian's pretty bad, but its final trait is actually what we're mostly using it for. It gives us a bunch of magic to all of our yellow allies when we take yellow gems. And Divine Protector will allow us to take a lot of yellow gems. Divine Protector used to be pretty meta back in the day, back when Divine Ishbala was broken beyond belief, as well as before a few other Divines ended up getting nerfed. It's one of the reasons why Divine Ishbala even has 40% mana start instead of 50. I still wish they would revert that back, though, because I feel like power creep has happened enough since that change to justify it. I should have +1 on both green and blue, correct? Yes, okay, just making sure. You generally want to do that with Divine Protector. It is probably the most important thing to initially get full mana on this team. Unfortunately, we didn't end up getting it there, so we're going to have to try for it off the sky. We did not get it there either, which is unfortunate. A little bit of a slower start than we might end up wanting. But once we get it going, we should be good to go. This does combine a little bit of physical damage with true damage, so it's not a purely true damage team, but it's mostly true damage. And similar to before, we get to spam just a billion blesses, we get our enchants, and now we can just start applying a bunch of damage. And every time we take yellow extra turn, we get more magic. As you can see, it's up to 69, meaning we have found 2 yellows so far. Anyways, now we can just keep throwing it for true damage. Obviously, if we start falling behind, we can also go for the summon. Very rarely are you hitting that summon, though. Very, very rarely. Unfortunately, compared to the other option, we are stuck I'm actually gonna take a green here. We are actually, I'm gonna take another green here. We are stuck without another full AoE damage. So unlike Scourge of Honor, which is really good synergy, we're using this almost entirely for its extra yellow, or extra magic when we take yellow. Unfortunately, that's not enough to make us go all the way over the edge. One nice thing about this is it does give us targetable option. So if they have like a Zolgoth or more of a PvP-like situation where there's a really specific target that you have to kill, you can end up utilizing that way if you so choose. Like right now, if we want to make sure this guy doesn't do his ability, or this one, we can simply just target it directly. However, we already have the win condition, so we don't end up needing it here, and we'll just kill it out that way. You can replace that out for other utility troops there too. It doesn't have to end up being Sagittarian. You can replace it with pretty much anything. It's mostly the Divine Protector and the Double Phoenix into one other Divine, ideally a Divine Red. So they can end up utilizing that. One that's actually pretty good as well that I was considering putting there, but it had like a damage type. How do you spell it? Ishtara? How do you spell Ishtara? Yeah, that one. This one, while not true damage, it does get to boost based on Bless, and you're probably gonna have 4 times Bless a lot of the time. The biggest issue with this is Bless and other mechanics like this, like Submerge, Enchant. Anything that has boost ratio on it, it does not get boost ratio before it removes its effect. So, for example, Bless, Enchant, Submerge, all those kind of things, they get removed after you cast. And the problem with that, with a boost ratio, is to check for the boost ratio occurs after it's been removed, meaning the best boost ratio you could ever get is 3 from all 3 of your other allies, meaning 12 gems instead of 13. While it is easier for it to get the Bless that it's need between its effect and, just the extra turns from the other things, it's not going to get it, it can only cap at 12. If they ever fix this to be 13, it's definitely more of an option, but it also has the issue where it's doing physical damage instead of the very focused true damage. So generally Scourge of Honor and other similar things will be a little bit more of a desirable pairing. Next we have Tide's Lash. This is actually a weapon from one of the past events. If I'm not mistaken, this might actually be a $5 money logged weapon now. However, if you don't have that weapon, you can easily just use some kind of mana accumulation weapon. And of course, this is the cheap low rarity team. But if you don't have this weapon, you can replace it out with either any other true damage hero weapon that you have access to, or really just any hero weapon that you just want to use as utility, either like Essence of Evil, some kind of blue for a bunch of explosion, however you want to go down that route. But basically, we're just using the Phoenix for what it does best, doing true damage. While not the best Mythic for doing so, it is a very good Mythic for doing so. And of course, as we saw with Scourge of Honor, has really good synergies with other options that already exist. And basically, we're just going to spam a bunch of true damage. If you need a little bit of poke, we do have Merilith here. I believe this is the first team that we're doing with this, but of course, Merilith, a really good mana accumulator. But one nice synergy that it has is, especially early on in the game, where Merilith's true damage means a lot more than later in the game, you can do a lot of true damage pokes. So if they're within range of something else on your team, you can simply just do another Merilith, and that'll bring them down just ever so slightly for you to be able to do some kind of cleanup. And as you can see, you really even need the weapon, so you could easily go with some other weapon, do some kind of mana accumulation there. But we're basically just doing the Merilith into the Legend combo. One nice thing about that is they have no mana conflict with each other. So let's go make one more team on the fly. Let's do it over top of this team right here. So let's go do the brown suggestion, or not suggestion, but the one that we were just considering. So let's do brown. Have we had brown Guild War this week? I don't think we have yet. I'm not sure if we're gonna use it for this, but oh no, maybe we will. But let's go do it. Scourge of Honor, because I honestly really like the Scourge of Honor Phoenix combo. They're like meant for each other. They basically have the exact opposite effect. They have the exact opposite mana colors while still having brown overlap. We just put a Mountain Crusher on there. I still haven't really fully determined what the other one slot should be. If you guys have any suggestions, definitely let me know. So what are we missing? Blue. So we're missing blue. What's under blue and power? Oh, you know one thing that's fun? Oh, I know exactly what I want to run. Wait, how do I spell empower? Oh, I'm not under weapons. Astral Spirit. Oh, wait, never mind. You don't use brown. Whoops. Why did I say blue? Wrong Guild War Day. That was yesterday's Guild War Day. Soothsayer, no. Yeah, there's not an empower option here. These are not gonna cut it. Like, obviously we have some empower converts, but they're not the colors we need. We don't need blue. We technically need purple, but it's not really doing much. Most of these others are just weird utilities that are just not necessarily worth it. Oh yeah, I know why I needed it. I needed brown blue. I don't know, what's under brown blue that isn't horrible? Is there a mythic under that category? I'd rather have a mana accumulator, but let's go check mythics. Let's go get a team here. What do we have under mythics? Iron Gut, no. Megavore, doesn't matter. We already have true damage. Mistralis for even more enchant, but that's overkill. I feel like this will do enough enchant on its own. Good ol' Ironhawk, Piskia for RNG. Could be fun. Oh, true damage synergy with with Grey King? Oh. Might as well. Vashtagan kind of loses your score some slightly, even though it could be an okay option. in the context of, like, it's good for Tower of Doom. I feel like it's the best purpose, because then you can run Iron Gut into Vashtagan. That's, like, one of its main purposes in the current state of the game. You lose a bit of points if you do it in Guild War. You can still do it. I used to in the past. But, yeah, I think this might be one of our better options. You could do Baskia, but I don't like its RNG, so we're going to stick with this. You don't do true damage, right? No, you do. True damage to an enemy, boosted by enemy, and to the enemy below them, boosted by purple gems. Enemy dies, create a bunch of purple. I can feed into Phoenix, which isn't bad. I'd rather have Grey King, though. It gives you a lot more control. The only problem is it's being fed by blue. We could fix that by moving it up by 1, and then have Phoenix kind of just as a mana accumulator. So we actually are going to do that. Just to give access to Grey King having double color. This will make it so Phoenix only has access to 1 color, but we'll be able to use the Grey King's Disable in order to get rid of bigger threats a little bit earlier. I'm almost considering even putting into second slot there, as it is very important to get those disables down, and then just let this mana accumulate off a double, and this will mana accumulate off a double, and this will mana accumulate only off of its yellow. So this will get off of blue-purple, this will get off of red-green, and this will get off of its yellow. But that's fine because we're primarily using it for its final trait, kind of like that one team where we doubled up on it. Its final trait is really good. Bless Enchant, we already saw how good Bless Barrier is. And Bless Enchant is similarly as good, especially in a meta game where more mana drain is starting to come in, especially this season where we have a bunch of Spirit Gems, which of course can mana drain you by 2. But anyways, let's go mess with this and see what it can do. We're currently using Titan. I guess it's fine. I don't think we need to change that. I do need to change my banner, though. So we do need, obviously, all in brown. So probably like a brown... Where do we give the other one? Probably into Grey King, so brown-purple. +2 brown, +1 purple, -1. I have no clue what do we have an option to. Yeah, minus and green doesn't hurt too much. We could also minus yellow, but I don't want to do that because Phoenix only color that I can get is yellow. So I'd rather get rid of one of Scourge of Honor's 2 colors. We're not using a Leprechaun or something, so we don't need to worry about it too much. Just have to remember not to take green, unless we absolutely have to. Anyways, let's go do this. So, pure brown. You could use this on Brown Guild War Day. It's pure true damage, so I'll probably score a little bit worse than the average brown team. Oh, that's the exact verse I need. It is a Vault event right now, by the way. We will be farming that quite a bit. We're about to be doing a 7-hour stream soon after this video goes up, as I woke up a little bit later today than expected. However, yeah, we're going to be grinding a bunch of those. Oh, no, I'm going to be creating Brown Storm that will be helping him. As soon as we get disabled down, this is what this guy's for. So this is why we put him a little bit further up in your team. So, like, right now, this could be something very scary in a Guild War battle, about to cast the book that will instantly end you. However, there's a workaround to this. We will click yellow or any other option we want here, and boom, he's now drained. So we're good to go. And now we just go for everything else we need. I'm actually going to hold on this true damage poke. The main reason being I actually want to get all my other true damages up. And now we just kind of go crazy on true damage. Make sure there's no extra turns left. We can just let him have the skull. And now we just fire everything we have. We throw down some true damage. We throw down some true damage. And after that, we can throw down some true damage. And of course, this thing still has backup summon, which is good in Guild War, as that can be the difference between you getting slightly more points or even just completely losing the battle, as things in Guild War can definitely hit you quite a bit harder. Right here, I actually want to feed into him if we can. Ideally, yeah, I guess we could. I could do this into green, and it should be good to go to get him the full mana. So you have to figure out what you can hit on the enemy team while still getting mana for one of your 3 true damagers. Oh no, he just got Barrier. Luckily, Cursed Disease. So, of course, Curse gets rid of all positive status effects. Gosh, Cursed Disease into Bless Enchant is such good synergy. Like, we already kind of knew that would be good, but this is like the combo. Scourge of Honor fully traded with, or not fully traded, well, fully traded as well, but I mean fully upgraded. Because they both have 59 true damage, so you even, or not 59, but, or well, in my case 59, but they both have the same amount of damage, so you don't have to predict unless they get magic reduced, because you'll know every single time that your Scourge of Honor is doing the same damage as Phoenix. The only reason they're showing up differently right now is I haven't fully committed to leveling this guy, but I think I am after this video. He's definitely quite up there. I still feel like Scourge of Honor might slightly still be better, but he's definitely really high up there on usable true damage options. Anyways, we'll go for our last little true damage poke there. And that is match. Pretty cool. I really like the new Mythic. And hey, there's the verse 3 we need. We'll be farming a bunch more of those this weekend. As this is the one I really need. But anyways, guys, I believe that is... Hey, Tribute Trader. I believe that is the rundown on the new Mythic. If you still have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. All the teams that we went over during this, including the brown one that we just made, will also be in the description if you want to go and copy-paste any of them. Any other comments, feel free to leave them down there as well. And feel free to leave a like on the videos. It helps out a lot and is greatly, greatly appreciated. And any of you who are interested in watching Guild Wars, we'll still be doing that at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day this weekend, though it'll probably be attached to an already existing stream. So do be wary of that, as we're going to be doing a pretty long stream today, probably tomorrow. I'm not sure about Sunday yet, Might just be a standard stream, but we'll be streaming quite a bit here on the channel, hunting for that Vault event. I'm not sure if we're going to aim for 1,000, but definitely at least want to hit that 500 mark. So we'll have a bunch more Vault keys to open over time. And of course, one other thing that happened this week, if you haven't already gotten them, Empress is now in the Vault key drop table. While it is advised to... Oh, is this icon not here anymore? Oh, they got rid of the icon. It was here for Monday to Thursday, but apparently they got rid of it when they added the Vault event in the Mythic. But anyways, also this lasts until next Friday, by the way, so the next 6.5 days. You'll still be able to get this all the way until Friday reset. But yeah, they removed the other thing. But yeah, with the Vault event this weekend, you can go get the Empress in Vault keys. You can do this whenever. It's advised to do after the Vault event itself. But of course, in the Vault key drop table, you can now get one of the best, or actually the absolute best, tarot card in the entire game, which is situationally usable. But anyways, guys, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. Best of luck if you're going to be trying for the Mythic, and even more best of luck on grinding down that Vault event, as we don't currently know when the next one is. It's probably going to be all the way in April, which I thought we were supposed to have one in another few weeks, but apparently not, so maybe early April or something, I'm not sure. But this is the last one for a little while, so definitely make sure to grind it up all you can. This is the second one since we've had the access to the... actually, this is the first one since we've had access to the Merchant and Angel mechanic. It's also the second one since we've had access to the buffed orbs. The ones where you can just upgrade mythics directly, like we used one of those this stream. I mean, this video, we ended up using the bronze metal in order to upgrade the new mythic. And we're probably going to do that all the way to max, because honestly, new mythic, pretty good. I actually really like it. Also, mythic tier list video, still going to be soon. There's 110 mythics currently in the game. We will be having that covered very soon, before the next mythic comes out, 100%. Hopefully soonish. But yeah, we'll have all 110 mythics. Hopefully there won't be 111 by the time we get the video out. Anyways, guys, actually technically there might be, because I might actually cover the mythic all the way at the end of the season pass, so maybe it will be 111. Though that one might not be out yet by the time we cover the video. But anyways, hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Best of luck out there, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.